Yes. So now all of you are able to see the screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah, fine. So now we will start our class. So if you remember, so the last class I think we started our this calculus of variations. Okay. So two things I think we did. One is this calculus of the variations. So that is so until now we have derived you followed right the buckling load or equation of equilibrium, so like your force method kind of a thing. So we wrote you see the equations of motion free body diagram we followed, right, and then we derived this one. So now I see we are looking at the same buckling problem from energy methods. Okay. So now in this energy method, say, so all of in your undergraduate you see minimizing you followed, right, maximizing this energy you find out, you can find get the solutions also. Then if you want to derive this equation of equilibrium, so then you can use this calculus of variations. Okay. So calculus of variations I already told you in the last class, so you are maximizing not a function but a functional kind of a thing actually. Okay. So functional means function of a function itself. Okay. So we are trying to look at this functionals itself, and the output of calculus of variations is not the buckling load. Okay, it gives you the equations of motion. Okay, so this is the most important thing. So ordinary calculus means you maximize a function, you will get some answers. Okay, some numbers you get, but in calculus of variations you will not get any answer, but you will get the equations of equilibrium. Then you see the boundary conditions, all those things, natural boundary conditions we call also. So this you will get in calculus of variations. Okay, so last class I think we already wrote the thing. So you have a functional say, so that is out of several paths. Okay, x1 to x2. So you have a function which is a function of derivative, all other things. Okay, y double dash up to some nth derivative, say. Okay. So now so among all the various paths, so now you see we are looking for a path. I think we assumed last class, so y bar x. So this was y of x plus epsilon into eta of x. I think we wrote the expression also for energy, that is u plus v. So this also we wrote, so 0 to L, so ei by 2 y double dash plus some epsilon into eta dash whole square minus p by 2, say. Okay, so y dash plus epsilon into eta dash whole square into dx actual. So this was the energy. Okay, and I think I also explained in last class the most important thing is the difference between dy and dou y kind of thing. Okay, both of them look same but they are not same. Okay, so this is nothing but a derivative. So this is nothing but difference actually between y2 minus y1 at two different x points, whereas delta y is for same x value the difference in two separate paths. Okay, so these are most important. So in calculus of variations, you see we do this del operator, not the d operator. Okay, be careful. So now finally we said that d of u plus v, say, with respect to d epsilon, epsilon is equal to 0, is equal, this has to be equated to 0 in calculus. And finally I think we wrote in the last class, after this I think we got this expression. So 0 to L, ei y you see double dash eta double dash minus py dash eta dash into dx actual. So this is the expression you see we got after using all these numbers. Okay, so now you see we have to do we have to evaluate these two the integrals kind of a thing. So we do this integration by parts. Okay, so these are all standard formulas in calculus. You see we use this one. So finally when you do this all of this expression, so 0 to L, if you have u dv kind of a thing, so uv 0 to L minus 0 to L v into you see du kind of a thing. So this formula we use and we calculate all those things. So 0 to L, say, okay, y dash eta dash dx. So this term turns out to be y dash, you see, eta 0 to L minus 0 to L. So eta into you see y double dash you see dx. So this is this first expression. Okay. So now since you see this eta say, okay, so this vanishes at the supports. Okay. So this vanishes at the supports because already we have written in the previous class. So if you have this is your y say, so your this is our you see y this one, and this is your y say. So now your eta should be vanishing actually at the essentially at the supports. So now what happens is so this quantities, so eta at L, eta at 0 is 0. So this turns out to be, so this integral is simply minus 0 to L eta into see y double dash dx actually. Okay. So 0 to L, so y dash is eta dash dx. So this is our value for this integral. So now this integral also has to be evaluated 0 to L y dash y double dash eta double dash dx. Okay, so this also you do the same integration by parts. So you have y double dash eta dash, so 0 to L minus 0 to L. So eta dash you see y triple dash you say dx comes actually the same expression you see we use. Now this equation also is once again we do this integration by parts. So you have so 0 to L, so eta dash y triple dash say dx. So once again you do this integration by parts. So y triple dash eta 0 to L minus 0 to L. So y fourth derivative comes here. So eta into dx kind of a thing. Okay. So now here also the problem is since eta is 0. So this quantity say once again you see it goes back to 0. So you will be left with only this fourth derivative. Okay. Eta into dx kind of a thing. So finally you can write this 0 to L. So y double dash eta double dash dx. So this expression is you see y double dash eta dash at 0 and L minus plus sorry this is 0 to L y this fourth derivative eta into dx kind of a thing. Okay. So for substitute this and all those things in our equation, so you will be having 0 to L. So you have ei this fourth derivative say. Okay. Plus you rearrange the terms nicely. Y double dash into you see dA, of course eta also is there, plus you have ei, so y double dash eta dash at L0 to L actually. Okay, so this is equal to 0. So this is our final you see the expression after minimizing this this functional actual. Okay, so now if this has to be 0 say, okay, so now we have the conditions is eta at 0, eta at L say, so this is equal to 0 kind of a thing. Otherwise you see this eta of x say, okay, is arbitrary function. Okay, so it is an arbitrary function only with this one. So now if you want this quantity to be 0 say, so here the only way is you follow right, this quantity has to become 0 kind of a thing. So which means you see, so 0 to L because the arbitrary, so ei y fourth derivative say, okay, plus p into y double dash, okay, into eta into dx is equal to 0. So this is the one. Other one is ei y double dash eta dash say, okay, evaluated at 0 and L. So this is equal to 0. So now here you see the most important thing comes. Okay, now since eta only is 0 at the supports, okay, so now your eta double dash you followed it, then eta dash of L and eta of x set, they are not zeros. Okay, so they are not 0 and it is independent and all those things are there. So now the only way is this quantity has to be equated to 0 actual. Okay, and this has to be ei y double dash has to be 0. So now enforcing this strong form. Okay, so here the most important thing comes actual strong form, then the weak form kind of a thing. So now generally what do you mean by strong form? Can anybody tell me strong form and weak form?
The function is 0 throughout.
No,
In
it is
strong form.
okay, fantastic. So now weak means
The integral is 0, but the function
integral
is not 0.
fine. So now if you enforce a strong form say on this one, so you have to have this equation of motion. So ei y fourth this one plus I say Py double dash is equal to 0. So this is enforcing this is strong form kind of a thing. Now in finite element, this Galerkin, all kinds of Rayleigh-Ridge, other kind of methods, they use this weak form kind of a thing actually. Okay. So now so here your numerical methods, they start to differentiate between, strong form and the weak form kind of a thing. So now since we want to derive the equation of equilibrium, so we are trying to do like now your EI say other one, so EI y double dash actually, okay, at x is equal to 0 is also equal to 0 and your EI y double dash, okay, at x is equal to L, this is also equal to 0 actually, okay. So this is your equation of say the equilibrium, which is more or less same as whatever we derived previously actually, okay. And these two are what we call as, you see, the natural boundary conditions. You follow. So generally the advantage of calculus of variations is that, it gives you equation of equilibrium, plus it also gives you, see, the natural boundary conditions. Now these boundary conditions are there, say like, y of 0 and y of L and all those things are 0 kind of a thing. So this we call as a geometric boundary conditions, okay. That is in terms of deflections and slope, you followed. So they are all geometry boundary conditions, we say. Now natural boundary conditions will be written generally, we get in terms of bending moment and, you see, the shear force kind of a thing, okay. So now generally in our calculus of variations, say these boundary conditions we enforce actually before the problem starts, we enforce this boundary condition, geometric boundary conditions, like, suppose if it is a fixed end, say we will say that, you see, y has to be 0 and y dash also has to be 0 kind of a thing. If it is a simply supported beam, say only deflection 0, so the slope is not 0. So this you have to enforce before the problem, okay. And then you do all this calculus of variation, automatically, you see, you will get these boundary conditions in terms of bending moment and shear force also. So that is the main advantage of this calculus of variations. So you will get equation of equilibrium. You also will get, you see, this natural boundary conditions, okay. But these geometric boundary conditions you have to enforce before the problem, okay. So these are already fixed kind of a thing, So this, if you do it automatically, you see, you will get all these quantities, okay. So now let us quickly, solve one simple problem actually, okay. How to get equation of equilibrium by this calculus of variations.
Sir, how did you get the boundary conditions from the
From this
equation
one.
of equilibrium?
This one.
Okay.
See the integral you have seen, right? Here there are two things are there. One is this expression. This also has to be 0, right? So this gives you equation of it. This gives you the boundary conditions. And anyway, since we are saying, right, eta dash is arbitrary kind of a thing, so this has to be satisfied. So boundary condition also came from calculus of variation. Equation of equilibrium also came from calculus of variations. So that is the advantage of this calculus of variations. Okay. Yeah. So now let us see for the simple problems, how do we derive, this equation of motion from calculus of variations? Like you see, so you have a simple, cantilever beam, but it is resting on some spring, or let me write properly. No. So if you try to draw, so these are a roller support kind of thing, but this entire thing is resting on some spring actually. Okay, so something like this. Let us say this you be kind of a thing A, and so this is your length of the beam is L. No. Okay, and then it is subjected to this buckling we are interested. So PP kind of a thing you have. Then spring stiffness is if it is some alpha kind of a thing. Okay, and now we want to derive this equation of equilibrium, and you take this as x. This is your x origin, and this is your y kind of a thing. Okay, now let us try to derive equation of equilibrium. You already all of you know actual. Okay, it's a straightforward only, but from calculus of variations. You followed. So this is how you see we have to derive from the variational principles kind of a thing. Okay. Now what is the first step in variational principles? You have to write energy expression. That is, external potential energy. You followed it. All those things have to be written. So now, since we are interested in buckling, say. So last class we already said initially when the load is very very small, axial thing will be there actually. Okay, when P is equal to PCR, say, then the bending comes into picture. We have defined last class. Okay, the bending comes and the strain energy you have to write only for the bending kind of a thing. So now, so the strain energy, say, okay, stored in the body. So the strain energy, you see, this in this problem can be written as, you see, EI by 2, okay, the bending one. So because we are interested in buckling kind of thing, so y double dash, you see, whole square dx kind of a thing. Now, since in this problem, so we are having, you see, this spring also comes actual. So this also gives rise to some strain energy. You know that half ky square, you know, for a spring, all of you know this one. So here spring stiffness is alpha, say. So into, you see, YL, you know, whole square kind of thing, where YL is nothing but deflection at x is equal to L. Okay. So this is our strain energy kind of a thing. Okay. So now we have to write the expression for the text work done by your, you know, this load itself, the loss of potential energy, the work done by your external load. So this anyway, last class we already derived actual. So P into W. So this becomes, you know, 0 to L. So y dash, you know, square dx. So this already, you know, last class we have already derived this work done by this one. So now the total potential energy is say, okay. So total potential energy will be, see, U plus V kind of a thing. So if you denote this by some pi kind of some operator, say this total energy or something. So this becomes, you know, so into EI by 2, 0 to L. So y double dash, you follow, right, square dx kind of a thing, plus alpha by 2 YL is a square minus P by 2, 0 to L. So y dash is a whole square, you know, dx kind of a thing. So this is the total energy actual, okay, for this, you know, the spring, whatever, this propped cantilever kind of a problem. Okay. Now if you write this in a nice format, say, you can combine those integrals together. So 0 to L, so EI by 2, okay, into y double dash, you know, square minus P by 2, y dash is a square kind of a thing, into dx. So just I am rewriting those expressions. So alpha by 2 into, see, YL square actual. Okay. So this is the energy expression. So now what does our calculus of variation tells us? So now if we give a small variation set, please see these operators. I am using this operator do. As already I told you, right? So this operator is nothing but the derivative with several paths. You followed, it is not a D kind of a thing. Okay. So several paths kind of a thing. So now you see, the several path means, you know, so this variation of y actual. So this finally, you know, comes on this expression. So del phi actual. Okay. So this if you try to calculate, and if you take this thing inside your calculation, so it's like derivative with respect to y double dash. So you have, you know, so this derivative, this will be, is 2 times 2 gets cancelled. So this becomes EI y double dash, say delta y, you followed a double dash kind of a thing, minus a p. So the here also 2 gets cancelled, y dash del of, you see, y dash kind of a thing. So multiplied by, you see, dx. So this is a variation actual, and please be remember here, this is nothing but the derivative dx actual. Now these both are different, so you can take this inside your integral itself. Okay. And now this expression, so here also you have alpha into yl kind of a thing, del of YL. So this is our expression. So this has to be equated to 0. So this comes from our calculus of variations. And now all these terms, now you do this integration by parts kind of a thing. So now you see, so 0 to L. So you have EI y double dash, okay, del y, you see, double dash kind of a thing dx. So you integrate by parts kind of thing. So you have EI y double dash is a del of y dash. It has to be evaluated at 0 and L minus EI y triple dash actual. Okay. And del y kind of a thing, 0 to, you see, L kind of a thing, plus 0 to L. So you have to expand. Okay. Detail you just solve. So EI, you see, y fourth derivative. So del y into dx. Okay. And your this term, say, that is this term, that is a py dash. This also you integrate by parts. So 0 to L. So py dash del y dash dou y dash dx. So this also will be minus p y dash. So dou y 0 to L. Okay. So plus 0 to L p y double dash dou y dx kind of a thing. So these are the terms actually. So now here, so now you can see, because now you have to find out the geometric boundary conditions. Okay, so now if we clearly see in this problem, say what are the geometric boundary conditions? Geometric boundary condition means you have to write in terms of deflection and slope actually. So what are the boundary conditions here? So now at this end, say what's the boundary condition? Because it is a fixed end, say what should happen here? So deflection, that is y naught has to be 0. Then slope also has to be 0 kind of a thing, which means your variation, say dou y naught, this also has to be 0, and your dou y naught dash, this also has to be equal to 0 actually. Okay, so this is the most the important kind of a thing. And now when you come to this end actually, okay, that is at x is equal to L kind of a thing. Now here right, it is a roller kind of a thing, so which means your bending moment is 0 kind of a thing, or you can also write this as YL, say double dash is equal to 0, so which means your delta, so the variation also has to be equated to 0 kind of a thing. Okay, so these are our boundary conditions. Okay, dou for the operator also is we write in this format, and please remember this is not a derivative. Dou y naught when I write it is nothing but the variation between the paths. Okay, so keep these boundary conditions in mind, and then you can solve this equation. So this expression, say ei y double dash. Okay, so dou y dash. So this is 0 to L. So this expression, whatever is there, I'm just putting down. So this becomes ei y double dash L, and dou y dash L. Sorry, dou y dash L. So dou y dash L minus ei y double dash 0, and dou y dash 0. Now what is the value here? So you are having dou y1 dash is there here, then this also is there actually. Okay, so now what does it tells you? So dou y dash, and then you followed, right? So now what does it tells you? And y double dash also is there. Okay, so now as already I told you, at x is equal to L, say, so as already I told you, see your bending moment is 0 kind of a thing, so this goes to 0 kind of a thing. Now at x is equal to 0, say it's a fixed end, bending moment is not 0, but because slope is 0, say, so this quantity becomes a 0 kind of a thing. So finally you see this turns out to be 0. Okay, and now if you go to this quantity, say that is ei y triple dash, this boundary condition also if you try to evaluate, so I'm writing here, so ei y triple dash, okay, dou y at x is equal to 0 and L. So now this also if you write so minus, so of course negative is there here, ei y triple dash at L and dou yL plus you have, right, so ei y 0, and then you see dou y naught actually. Okay, and now you tell me which one will be 0 among these two. Look at these boundary conditions. So this is at x is equal to 0, this is at x is equal to L. Okay, so already we have written, right, at x is equal to 0, say what is 0? So deflection is 0, slope is 0, which means dou y naught is 0, dou y naught dash is also 0. Now at this end, y double dash is 0, which means dou y double dash is 0 kind of a thing. Okay, so now if you see in this expression, say now which is 0, so this quantity, as already we said, right, it is going to 0, so this becomes, now this is a shear force, so there is nothing there, so automatically so this quantity will not be 0, so you have ei y triple dash L dou of yL actually. So this is the second one, and now so these two are over. Now this expression also we try to write it, okay, for p also. So this also if you write, say minus p y dash dou y at 0 and L actually. Okay, so this also if you expand, say minus p y dash you followed it at x is equal to L and del yL plus. Okay, so p y naught dash and then dou y naught actual. Now here also what happens, so this term is 0 at x is equal to 0, so finally so this also boils down to y dash L del of is yL kind of a thing. Okay, so now you join all them in big one. Yeah, so del phi, so this becomes alpha times yL minus ei y triple dash L, okay, minus is p y dash L, so multiplied by, you see, so del yL kind of a thing, plus integral 0 to L. So you have EI. So y fourth derivative plus P y double dash multiplied by say dou y into dx is equal to 0. So this is the final expression. So now because delta yl, this is arbitrary, say, okay, it is an arbitrary function. Yeah. So now what should happen? So this quantity should be 0. This quantity also has to be 0 actual. Okay. So since this cannot go to this one, so finally what we get is EI, you see, fourth derivative plus P into y double dash actual. Okay. So this is equal to 0. So this one comes, and the second one, say, so alpha times YL minus EI y triple dash, okay, at L minus Py dash, say, L is equal to 0. So this is your equation of equilibrium for this problem, and this one, say, nothing but your natural boundary condition in terms of shear force. Okay, all of you know, right? Because there is a spring there, so shear force, say, EI y triple dash minus P into dy by dx, you remember, so that we write is equal to alpha times y. So this is your spring stiffness kind of a thing. So now in our this calculus of variations, say, you get this natural boundary condition automatically. So that is the main advantage of the calculus of variations. So many problems are there where if you want to derive equation of equilibrium by force method, it may be difficult actually, but when you try to do by calculus of variations, say, you will be able to do it in a very simple fashion kind of a thing. Okay. So now let us see some interesting kind of things here. So now so this is how the calculus of variations works, and then you can derive also, as already I told you, say, in calculus of variations, so if you enforce a strong form, okay, so if you enforce a strong form, you will get these equations of equilibrium and natural boundary conditions. But in many problems, say, like you may not be interested in the equation of motion, we directly want the solution itself actually, what's the buckling load itself. So there also these energy methods they come into picture here. So now instead of strong form, we can use this weak form kind of a thing to get, you see, answers very quick kind of a thing. So like you solve this integral, you followed, right, automatically you enforce weak form kind of a thing. So you like you approximate something and then you try to calculate kind of a thing. So there are several methods are there based on this weak form kind of a thing. So there are several methods are there, like you would have seen already, Rayleigh-Ridge method, more or less all of them are same, but some small here and there, you enforce orthogonality kind of a thing or something, you get this thing, and Galerkin approach, many are there. You followed to get this solutions kind of a thing. Okay, so but here you enforce, you see, the weak form. So all of them are based on, you see, weak form. You don't use any strong form kind of a thing to get some quick answers kind of a thing. Okay, quick solutions, very easy. You followed. So this also one can do. So if you want to derive equation of motion, then you go for strong form and you do from calculus of variations. If you are not interested in the equation of equilibrium, just directly the solution, then you can use the Rayleigh-Ridge method, same calculus of variations only, but you enforce only this weak form. Only the integral has to be 0, not overall kind of a thing. So you can use this and get some quick solutions kind of a thing. Okay. So now I will just show you one example of this Rayleigh-Ridge method. So for this column, so let us say you have a stepped column, say. Okay. This is a complex problem, but Rayleigh-Ridge energy methods, it is very easy kind. We already solved by force method previously. I think cantilever we have done. So you have a column, say, and it is simply supported, stepped column kind of a thing. Okay. So this is L by 4. Now by energy method, let us L by 4. This is L by 2. And this is also L by 4. Okay. So total is L itself. Okay. So this is this. Now, so this is say the length of the column. So here the moment of inertia, say, okay. So this is I naught. Here it is I naught by 4 kind of a thing, and here also it is you say I naught by 4. Okay, so now how do you solve this problem by energy methods or by equation of equilibrium? Can anybody tell us? Previously we have discussed actually. Now how do you solve if you want to solve by the force method? Now you remember, I think 2 classes before, right? We solved a cantilever column, the stepped column. Okay. Now, how do you solve by force method? So, you people remember, how did we solve previously?
By enforcing some condition at the junction.
Yes. So, what did we do? Essentially, what we did previously was the same equation of equilibrium. We wrote 3 equations actually, like y is equal to a sine bx plus c cos c kx. No, so we write the solution. So a and b, a b, a b. So there are something like 6 constants will come actually. Okay. So 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 6 constant. Now you have to enforce the boundary condition. What's the boundary condition? Now, as already I told, if we start with the 4th order ODE, say EIY 4th order ODE, then 4 constants, 4 plus 4 plus 4, 12 will be there. If you start with second order ODE, say EIY double dash is equal to your bending moment kind of a thing. So then you will be having 2 plus 2 plus 2. So 6 constants will be there. Okay. Now when you are using, so now for the second order ODE, say what we said was here that this junction, you have to enforce continuity of displacement and slope actual. Suppose if you are solving with the 4th order ODE, then you have to ensure continuity of y, continuity of y dash, then shear force, then bending moment. So 4 plus 4 plus 4, 12 constants will be there for 4th order ODE. Okay, and you have to have 4, the 12 boundary conditions. So 12 means from this continuity of slope, deflection, then shear force, then bending moment, 4 will come here. 4 will come at this junction. So 4 plus 4 kind of a thing, you will get 8 conditions here. Then you have to get additional, you followed it 2 at this supports, like deflection 0, slope 0 kind of a thing. Then here also deflection 0 or slope 0 or bending moment 0 kind of a thing. So you will be having 2 at one support, 2 at one support. So 12 conditions, 12 constants. So the problem is solved actually. Okay. Now if you are doing with second order ODE, say. Okay, so previously we have seen, so second order OD means because already this bending moment shear things will already be there here. So now 6 constants will be there. So now at these junctions you will enforce only y and y double dash only. So now here and here say, so you will be having 2 here, 2 here. So 4 will be there. And the other one comes from this support and this support itself. Okay, so this is how we solve in a force method kind of a thing. Now I don't want to do by force method. I want to use this energy method or this Rayleigh-Ridge method kind of some approximation you followed, right? I want to use. Okay, so now this problem say. So now, as already I told you, in all these energy methods, say Rayleigh-Ridge or Galerkin or whatever method you are going to use, the only thing is we assume the eigenvector actually. See, pre-force method, what to do? You write equation of equilibrium. You first find out eigenvalue, then you will get the eigenvector. Okay. In energy methods, you assume the eigenvector itself or the deformed shape itself, and then you find out the eigenvalue. So we go by reverse kind of a thing actually. Okay. To assume some eigenvector, or eigenvector is nothing but the deformed shape only. Okay. Some assumption you do about the deformed shape or something. So you assume y, say that is nothing but your y, and then you calculate the buckling load actually. Okay, so this way we try to solve it in energy methods. So now in this problem, say, so let us say we approximate your thing for this problem as some a sine pi x by L. Okay, so this is an assumption, because we know that for simply supported column anyway it will buckle by this type of a shape. So this is the assumption actually, y is equal to a sine pi x by L actually. Okay, everything buckling towards one side, but the only thing is when you are assuming any deformed shape, say it has to satisfy the geometric boundary condition. So this you have to ensure. Okay, Simply supported means, right, deflection, then bending moment is 0, or, so this has to be enforced. So this is a requirement. So geometric and boundary conditions, based on this one, you assume your deformed shape. Okay, and now we write this expression for strain energy. So now the energy is, all of, and now here the strain energy, if you want to calculate, say, you have to do 3 times for this one, then this one, then this one. Only thing is, this and this war, both of them are same, moment of inertia is different, so twice it becomes, and you have this member itself. So if you try to write your strain energy, so I'm just writing 2 times, okay, L by 4. Yeah, so this ei, sorry, the y double dash, you see, whole square dx kind of a thing, and of course you will be having sorry, I will write nicely. Yeah, so if you try to write this, okay. Now, so now if you write this expression nicely, so u is equal to twice actually. Okay, so ei naught by 8 kind of a thing. So because you have that 0 to L by 4 y double dash, okay, square dx kind of a thing, plus you have ei by 2. Yeah, so L by 4 to L by 2. Okay, so this is another term, y double dash square dx. So this is a strain energy. Okay, so now you have to calculate. So now we have assumed that y is a sine pi x by L. Okay, so we have already assumed y double dash. So y dash, y we have assumed has to be a sine pi x, this one. So now you substitute here, say, so this integral has to be, you see, calculated kind of thing. I will write for one, others you can calculate. So 0 to L by 4 and sinusoids, square dx kind of a thing. So all of this a square pi to the power of 4 by, you see, L to the power of 4, 0 to, see, L by 4 sine square pi x by L, dx kind of a thing. So this turns out to be 0.045 a square pi to the power of 4 by, you see, L cube. Okay, so this is integral. Now similarly, say you calculate other integral also. So L by 4, L by 2, so y double dash square dx. So same integral, only limits are changing. So 0.205 a square pi to the power of 4 by L square, sorry, L cube. So these are the two integrals. So now if you substitute, your strain energy will be 0.216 E I naught a square pi to the power of 4 by L cube. So this is a bending, the strain energy. And now the potential energy is due to load. Okay. Now, so due to load also. So this also expression, minus p by 2, 0 to L. So y dash is a whole square dx. So now this also you substitute. So p a square pi square by, you see, 2 times L square integral 0 to L. So since y is sine, y dash becomes, cos kind of a thing. So cos square pi x by L dx. Okay, so this turns out to be minus p a square pi square by 4L. Okay, so now the total energy, say, so that is your pi u plus v kind of a thing. So this becomes 0.216 E a square, sorry, E I naught. So E I naught a square pi to the power of 4 by, you see, L cube minus p a square pi square by 4L. So this is our total energy. So now what we have to do? So now to find out the buckling load, say, see, this A is arbitrary kind of a thing. Okay, so now this dou phi, say, this has to be 0 kind of a thing, which means your d u plus v, say, with respect to A. So this has to be equated to 0. So you differentiate with respect to A. So you get 0.432 E I naught A pi to the power of 4 by L cube minus P A pi square by 2 times L is equal to 0. So you solve this for A, so you will get A into, you see, 0.864 EI naught, okay, pi square by, you see, some L square kind of a thing, minus P is equal to 0. Since A is arbitrary, so this has to be equal to 0. So which means your PCR, say. So this turns out to be 0.864, 0.864 pi square E I naught by, you see, L square kind of a thing. So this is how, you see, we obtain, you see, the buckling load actual for this stepped column. Now if we check the actual solution, say, okay, that is, you solve by force method, that gives you obviously the exact value itself. The exact value is, for this problem, say, PCR is, you see, 0.65 pi square E I naught actually, okay, by L square. So this is exact value you followed, right? Now how much is the error? So if you compare this one, so it is obviously you followed it 33% error you have when you compare with this exact value you followed, right? And I think last class I already told you, right, whenever you are doing by energy methods, what happens? I told you conservative, but it is wrong only. So obviously energy methods will give you higher values than the exact itself. They underestimate, you remember last class also, we have seen this one, okay? So now so there is a 33% error is there, which is unacceptable kind of a thing. What could be the reason for high error? Can anybody tell us why we are getting high error for this problem? Yeah.
Higher order derivative.
Why we have what's the reason?
The higher order derivative we are using.
Higher derivative.
Yeah, higher order derivative. Y double dash.
Oh, okay. So what your view is about the y double dash actual. Okay. So if you solve this problem by m naught, say, like previous class we have done also, you will get the same thing actually. You can, that is not the reason for this problem. If you try last class, of course.
Sir, that
tell me.
Assumption of y equal to a sin x, that is giving the error.
Why that is wrong here? What could be the reason why this is not correct? See, this y a sin pi x by L, if you say it is not valid, is it valid or it is not valid?
It is valid, but we are using only one term of the Fourier series.
No, that is fine. See, generally simply supported beam, it will buckle like this only, no? You have been taught like this, right? One side only. What could, whether this is valid, first of all, whether this column will buckle like this or it will buckle in some other fashion. Just look the I naught. See what is happening to your I naught here. See, the first one is I naught by 4, very thin kind of a thing. The middle portion, say, it is very stiff kind of a thing. You have moment of inertia is very high. So what could be the reason? See, generally how it will going to buckle. Either it will buckle only like this. If it is a uniform, then it will buckle like this. But now the problem here is the middle portion is very stiff. These two are something like this. So what could, how it is going to buckle? Like some of you told me Fourier series you have considered, it is a perfectly fine. So there is a chance of the higher modes you see contributing to this problem actually followed. And because of two nodes are there, say. So now, so the solution, if you want to improve, so if you write your y as a sine is it pi x by L. Now, so if you add one more term, say, so now b sine, tell me what you will add now here, 2 pi x by L, or what you are going to add here, 3 pi x or 4?
X by L.
Why 3 pi x?
Because there are 3 sections, right?
3 sections, very excellent. Okay, if the stepped column was like this, say, only 2 things are there, then maybe you can go for a sine 2 pi x by L. But here you are having 2 nodes like this, 2 junctions are there. So you can try with 2 pi x by L also. You can see your solution is not going to improve actually. Okay, so the best way is you followed, right? You take this expression. Okay, so now you once again solve this one, say. So now only problem is you have to do all the derivatives. Okay, so this derivative we have done for sine pi. These derivatives have to be calculated once again afresh actually. Okay, all other things remains the same. So sine pi x by L, so now we have to do for sine 3 pi x by L also. So now of course all mathematical expressions remains same. You followed, right? So now so there are so many terms will come actually. Okay, so you have to calculate sine square pi x by L, sine square 3 pi x by L, and sine pi x by L into sine 3 pi x by L. So all those derivatives have to be calculated. So you will get terms like this. L by 4 you followed, right? Sine square pi x by L. You require all these quantities. Okay, so 0.045 L. Then you will also will have derivative integrals, L by 4, like you see sine pi x by L, sine 3 pi x by L dx, all these kinds of integrals will be there. So you should be able to calculate these integrals actually. So many terms will come. Okay. So what is this integral? So can anybody tell? Cos square pi x by L. Now what is this integral value? Now
L by 2.
L by 2. Fantastic actually. Why L by 2 it is? Because right, orthogonal property of cos and sine actually. Okay. What is this integral? 0 to L cos square 3 pi x by L into dx. And what is the value of this integral? No.
L by 6.
L by? No,
L by 6.
No, it is not L by 6. That's what I told you, right? Because cos, they have, this, if orthogonality property is there, right? Cos square 3 pi x by L or cos square 5 pi x by L, whatever you take, say, it will be L by 2 only. You can verify yourself. And what is this integral? 0 to L cos pi x by L and cos 3 pi x by L dx. What is this integral? What is this integral? 0 to L. Yeah, right, the orthogonality property of cos actually. So this will be automatically equal to 0 itself. So you followed, right? The cos and sine have a nice property. The cos, if you do cos pi x by L into some other, it turns out to 0. But if the same, say, the answer will be, you see, L by 2 kind of a thing. Okay, so you can verify yourself orthogonality property. So now you do all those calculations. Say you will get E I naught pi to the power of 4 by L cube. So all those calculations you have to do. So 0.216 A square minus 1.080 AB, because you are having two terms here, plus 11.01 6B square minus P pi square by 4L A square plus 9B square. So this is our expression. Okay. So now to find out our buckling loads, say, now what you have to do? So as already I told you, right? So this has to be, a 0 kind of a thing, which means your D of U plus V, say, with respect to A has to be 0. Then D of U plus V, say, with respect to B also has to be 0 actually. So that is the only, condition we have here. So now you calculate the derivatives. Okay. So you can write nicely in terms of, the matrix format kind of a thing. So 0.432 time minus 0.5 P by P naught kind of a thing. Okay. P by P. So your P naught, so you followed it. If you take this P naught as, Euler's load, say pi square EI by L square kind of a thing. So you can just 0.43 to this one minus 1.080, then minus 1.080, then you have 22.032 minus 4.5 P by P naught. So A B, okay, A and B. So this has to be equated to 0, 0 kind of thing. So you get a nice thing. So determinant of this matrix has to be 0 because A and B are arbitrary kind of a thing. So now the determinant of the matrix will be 2.25 P by P naught, just non-dimensionalizing, okay, whole square minus 12.96 say P by P naught plus 8.35 is equal to 0. And finally you solve this quadratic equation, you get P by P naught. The lowest root is 0.735. Okay, the smaller root. Okay, so which means your P, say P critical load. So if you write in terms of this P critical load, so this turns out to be 0.735 pi square E I naught, say, by L square. So this is the solution, you see, which you get by taking two things. Anyway, the second mode is not important for us, only this one. Now what is the exact value? Just now you see we wrote, right, the exact value was, so the exact value was, you see, which is if you solve, 0.65. So previously we got 0.864. Exact value is 0.65. Now we have got 0.735 actually. You follow? So when you compare this to the exact value, say 0.735, and you calculate this error, it is basically 13% error is there. Now if you want to improve the solution, so what you have to do? So you take
Add
only
more
one
sine
term.
term.
Which term you will add? Sine 3 pi x you have add. Next one will be
5 pi x by
5 pi x by. You can verify. You followed, right? If you take even terms, say, you may not get nice error may not decrease much, but so now from 33% we have come to 13%. If you add one or two more terms, then your error can be decreased actually. Okay, so this is how we can use energy methods, say, to find out, you see, the solutions actually, okay, for many problems. But please keep in mind, this weak form means obviously you followed, right? You may be doing some approximation here, so there can be some error actual. Okay, so now to minimize this error, you have to include more number of terms, or maybe more things have to be included in our calculations. Okay, so fine. So I will stop my lecture here. We will continue in our next class. So we will stop recording.